Larry, Fort Worth Memories Museum and Groups, and YouTube at Fort Worth Memories. Let me see if I can find we got so many platforms now. Dang, I did that the wrong way. Just now, that's it. Good morning, everyone. And I'm sharing it and sharing it again. If I can get the thing to work. Okay, here we go. Today is Friday, December 20th. Kind of cool outside. Should have worn a jacket, but I've got one here that I left yesterday. Let me see what the weather deal is. It's 41 now. It's going to be a high of 57. It feels like 33 outside. I believe that. 57 today, 57 Saturday, 62 Sunday, 68 Monday, 64 and rain on Tuesday, 62 and sunny on Christmas. There you go. We're eating at Grump's. I guess it's just Grump's Hamburgers on at River Oaks Boulevard and Roberts Cutoff. 1 o'clock tomorrow. Come join us. We'll go ahead and we'll meet this Saturday, and we'll meet next Saturday too, seeing as how Christmas is halfway during the week. Okay, so what's new? I don't know of anything that's new. We're getting closer to the swear-in date, which is January the 20th, I believe. I'm going to go ahead and read our sponsors off twice today, if I can find the dealie. Why isn't the sponsors working? Well, I guess it's working now. There's Larry's Kids. There's a prayer request. Guess the score. There's Casey Crawl. His insurance group is our Medicare, Medicaid experts. Mike's in, Woody's in, I'm sure Brittany's in. Let me keep going here. Winstead Paint and Body, Clay Winstead, they've been sponsors and big contributors to Larry's Kids every year. Jerry Schwartz, Schwartz and Hanson Architects. Techstar Pools, if you need a swimming pool, they'll build you one, or they'll remodel yours or repair it. Anything with pools and the area around it, they can take care of all of that. And there's Schwartz. Rex Benson's Rex's Bar and Grill. We're hoping to get that. I sent Rex a message. He didn't message me back yet. And it's not because he forgot. He probably doesn't have an actual date that it's going to open. It's in the old Macaroni Grill on University, so which is next door to his other restaurant, Old South Pancake House. But I think next year we will have our boxing in Cowtown and our birthday party at Rex's Bar and Grill, close to home. Rains Plumbing, that's a family-owned plumbing company. Very nice people, had a lot of good reviews. So if you need a plumber, that's the folks to call. Getting a message from somebody, I don't know who that is. Charlie Guerin's Railhead Barbecue. Charlie is on the board of Larry's Kids. He's also a sponsor and real active in everything civic. He's also a state rep here in Texas. Passport Getaways is our travel experts. If you want to do a cruise or take a trip, go to Europe, whatever, Passport Getaways can take care of you. The Optimist Club, they're through selling trees this year, but right after the first of the year, I'm going to have Jeff Norman in, who is one of the top folks in the Fort Worth Optimist Club. Have him come in and sit him down and figure out what all the Optimist Club does for our youth. There's Old South Pancake House. That's another Rex Benson owned restaurant. They've been in business. It's been in the Benson family since '62. They're open 24/7 on University. They're out in Burleson also. That's fairly new, 2 or 3 years old, and they close at 9 or 10 out there. K Ranch Roofing is one of our roofing sponsors. Don't have a clue who that is. So Jorge Hernandez and Bree, if you think you got roof damage, don't try to get up there and figure out what it is. Call the experts. They don't charge anything to give you an estimate or tell you it might be nothing wrong with your roof. Jenny Stewart is our State Farm insurance lady. So if your insurance is coming up and you're not using Jenny, give her a call. At least give her a chance to quote you a price. David Hart with Hart Painting. If you need anything painted, David is the gentleman to call. Cross Electric, another family-owned business. David Hart is also a family-owned business. Cross Electric, if you need an electrician, that's the folks to use. Fort Worth Lumber, they've been sponsors and contributors to my giveaways for many years. They're on the South Freeway. Anything, plans, lumber, whatever, that's your one-stop shop. I need a sign company. Express Dent, if you've got hail dings or door dings, whatever, Eric can fix them, and his partner, the original owner, and I guess he's still the owner, is Dick Regester. He lives down in Florida. But Eric is the operating partner. He does great work. Dickie Carr Sand and Gravel, that's Pat and Richard Carr. Huge, civic-minded folks, great people. There is Richard Carr's nephew, Dickie Carr. He has Grateful for Your Trees. He does everything with trees. Cut them down, pull them up, grind the stumps, whatever you need done. Steve Coburn, Coburn's Catering. Steve, they're still over there on North Main, where originally there was a cafeteria over there when I was 16. But they still cater. They do the stock show. They do all kinds of events. Steve Coburn, Coburn's Catering. Burt Ladner Real Estate. Wes Williams is associated with that real estate office. We also have Eric Walsh. I don't know who's sending me those messages, but you've got me confused with somebody wanting to inspect my offices in El Paso. I don't have any offices in El Paso. Burt Ladner Real Estate, Wes Williams is associated with them. Eric Walsh is also a realtor that's involved in he's a sponsor and on the board of Larry's Kids. Dub Peacock's Heat and Air Company. It's A Bird AC and Heating Incorporated. So winter is right here. We need to get those units checked and make sure that all of your stuff is working. Hold on. Is that the current one? I guess that's Patricia's in, Ginger's in, Larry's in, Dub's in, Tom, Marilyn, Brittany. I don't know which one of them are in. I'm going to ride on here and see. I got too many. No, that's it. Okay, James Van Zant's in. We're eating at Grump's tomorrow. Our Cleburne people are she's typing. Besides Amon Carter, who is one of the Delinda's in, one of the most unique people that you can recall in Fort Worth or Tarrant County. That's kind of there's a bunch of people. Hey, Brittany. I'll give you a guy that you've always heard the saying, we're 9 degrees apart. I'll tell you about a guy that was born in El Paso, but he lived in Fort Worth all of his life until the end of his life. And his name is Frederick Korth, Korth. I'm sure not very many people have heard of him. He went to UT. He was an attorney, lawyer. He was also a banker and a rancher. Now, when I say 9 degrees apart, that means we've all got something in common. Fred, he was a lawyer by trade in those early years. His famous divorce case was a guy named Ekdahl in 1948 in Tarrant County. D is in. Fred Korth's client was Mr. Ekdahl, and he got him a divorce from a lady named Marguerite Ekdahl, who later, her name was Marguerite Oswald, Lee Harvey Oswald's mother. So that's one deal. In 1952 and 53, he was Assistant Secretary to the Army under Eisenhower. His boss quit and went to work as the head of then General Dynamics. Fred Korth exits the lawyer industry, became the president and CEO of Continental National Bank, the one that had the clock that turned around. In 1962, John F. Kennedy, appointed Fred Korth Secretary of the Navy. In fact, he was the 56th Secretary of the Navy. He had to step down, and the reason he did, and the president said, we have found the McClellan, they had all kinds of people that checked things out to make sure Janie's in, Bill's in, to make sure there was no funny business going on. But Continental National Bank was one of the main banks that was the lender of the fighter tactical plane, which was later the F-111. So people are saying, hey, this is a conflict of interest. He's the president of Continental National Bank, and they're the main bank that lends money to General Dynamics. They never charged him with anything. They never could prove that he showed any favoritism. But I can tell you this, Lockheed, or Boeing, it was Boeing, undercut General Dynamics bid on the F-111 by $1 or $2 million, or $1 million a plane, I think. That number, I don't know if that's actually the correct number. So anyway, he steps down. There was another rumor that Bobby Baker, who was Billy Saul Estes' protege, supposedly handed LBJ a briefcase with $500,000 in it to get General Dynamics, the F-111, and they tried to collusion with Fred Korth. They never could prove anything. So he steps down as the Secretary of Navy, still in 62. He got a divorce from his wife in 64, and he started a romantic relationship with a lady named Marjorie Merriweather Post, the daughter of C.W. Post, Post Toasties. They lived here in Fort Worth. She did. They had a 20-year romance, and Colleen is in, Dalton's in. They had a 20-year romance, and in 1980 she died. Patricia's in. And so Fred Korth was one of the co-executors of her estate. This is the daughter of the Post Toasties billionaire. And so in 1980, he sold one of her prime pieces of property, Mar-a-Lago, to then real estate developer Donald Trump. She died, so also in August of 80, he married a lady named Charlene Williams, and she was a socialite from Dallas. Everybody's trying to get me this morning. Hey, Scott.
Morning.
Right in the middle of a deal. I'll get with you in just a second. So he married Mrs. Williams, a socialite from Dallas. So his stepdaughter was Melissa Williams O'Rourke. Does that name ring a bell? Fred Korth's stepdaughter was the mother of Beto O'Rourke. So he was in 48 he got a divorce for Marguerite Oswald's husband, a guy named Ekdahl. In 52 he became Assistant Secretary of the Army under Eisenhower. He resigned that post. He was a lawyer by trade and a banker and a rancher. He was born in El Paso. That's where he was buried also. So he became the President and Chief Operating Officer, Executive Officer of then Continental National Bank, the one with the big clock. That bank was the main lending bank to the F-111 fighter tactical aircraft. So he had to step down. But Jack Kennedy, while he was still alive in 62, he made Fred Korth the Secretary of the Navy. He was the 56th Secretary of the Navy. He got a divorce from his wife. He had a 20-year romantic relationship with Marjorie Merriweather Post, the daughter of C.W. Post, Post Toasties. They lived here, and then they moved and started a town called Post, Texas. She died in 1980. Fred Korth was one of the executors. He sold her prime piece of property, Mar-a-Lago, in 1980 to then real estate investor Donald Trump. What else? He married a socialite from Dallas named Williams, and his stepdaughter, Melissa Williams, married a guy named O'Rourke out of El Paso, and they had a child, and his name was Beto O'Rourke. So that's my 9 degrees apart. That's one of the most unique people that I can remember, besides Amon. Amon, I don't think he ever... The only thing I think Amon ever did that he wasn't 100% success was he was the campaign manager for a guy named Garner, who was running against then FDR for the President of the United States, and Garner became the Vice President. So anyway, that's my unique story. Fred Korth, his daughter and granddaughter, his granddaughters live here, one of them, because I've detailed her cars. So, we're eating at Grump's. Scott, have you ever eaten at Grump's?
I have not.
They say it's really fancy dancy, and apparently there's more than one. And for you seniors that are going to join us, you get to order from the child's menu. So I guess that's good. That's probably a smaller portion and a less price. It's on the corner of River Oaks Boulevard and Roberts Cutoff. So that's where we're eating. We're going to meet this Saturday and next Saturday. Since how Christmas just falls in the middle of the week on Wednesday. It's supposed to be in the 50s and sunshine. Somebody just messaged me, how much are the detailed gift certificates? $150. It's a sale I have every year. We want to keep praying for, I'm going to try to get an update on Renee, and I'll get an update on Gene Demick. But basically, we need to pray for everybody on the planet. A lot of our members are having medical issues and or some kind of issue. All of us in the world are. So anyway, what else do we need? What else do we need to talk about, Scott? You know anything earth-shattering?
The store is live. It's ready for Sunday, and I think that's it.
Yeah, I signed up a day or two ago. Guess the Score, you can get that on FortWorthMemories.com. You can also see the list of our sponsors on FortWorthMemories.com. All of my live shows that I do on YouTube, like I've got Dub Peacock's card up right now. In fact, I think he's on our feed right now. You can get our sponsors' addresses, phone numbers, information on FortWorthMemories.com, and you can also look at my lives or go to YouTube, my lives, and we point those people out. All I ask is that you give them the opportunity. If your insurance is coming due and you might not be happy, or hey, I hadn't had no change but the bill keeps going up, that's what happened to me, call Jenny Stewart, State Farm. At least let her give you a bid. That's all I ask. If your AC unit's going out and you say, well, I've been using old Bob's air conditioning, give Dub Peacock a call. Let him send somebody out there and tell you what he'll do. That's a major purchase. Any of this stuff is important to your life. And if you've got some kind of illness, what do? You always get a second opinion. So let our sponsors give you a second opinion on what they think or what they can do for you. So we need a lot of sponsors. We need florists. We need an auto mechanic. We need. I post a deal all the time. A tire store. I don't know why. I guess the reason Sam at Fort Worth Tire doesn't do it is because every time I go by there, that's the busiest tire store I've ever seen. But we need a tire store that we can send customers to. All kinds of people. If you don't see their information on our sponsors list and you know somebody or you've got a business and you want it recognized, let me promote it. We were rated again, or not rated, but I got a gentleman, a friend of mine that's in the radio business, and he said, you're still the #1 social media outlet in 5 counties. That includes Dallas. So all we do is we try to do good stuff. We have our annual bike giveaway. I'm gonna talk to the board in January or February about including a backpack deal. And when is that? August or September, when school starts back. So we're eating at Grump's. The museum is, well, half of it's cleaned up. By the weekend, I'll have it ready to start touring again. We have let me show you our Christmas tree that Optimist Club donates a tree every year to us, and they and then Ginger, there it is. It's not a very good shot of it. The front side, the day she decorated it, you couldn't get to this side over here that doesn't have much on it. Since then, I've moved stuff around once we got all the bikes and toys out of here. Then also there's our backdrop. You want to take a photo with the backdrop of Larry's kids, come by and I'll be happy to do that. Most of y'all are part of Larry's kids. Well, you all are in prayer. We have a lot of families that are in need. Prices are, I'm going to tell you, this new barbecue place, and I'm sure it's a good place. I can't even recall the name of it now. A pound of ribs is $30. A barbecue sandwich is $20. I mean, these prices are through the roof. I don't see how you get. Wonder what Angelo's is a pound of ribs. But at their place, it's something. It's a new one, and I guess it's downtown. $30. Man, I mean there's no way that our group could have a lunch club meeting there. I mean, going to Whataburger is a huge. I took 4 or 5 of the grandkids the other day. I'm gonna tell you a story I had. Let's see, Matt, Michael. There was 5 grandkids, me. So we stopped for gas. It was about a quarter of a tank. The gas was $150 because that's a 50-gallon tank. And diesel is up there. Then we went to the Whataburger out in Azle on 730 and 199. And they got that, there's a new, some kind of fancy-dancy burger. It's like $12 or $13. And they got the fries, and then they got milkshakes or malts, whatever you call them, instead of a Coke. It's over $100 for that, and I didn't eat. I mean, what happened to the... You can go to Mickey D's and get the $5 deal. That's a couple of sandwiches, fries, and a chicken nugget thing. I mean, it's... We need something to shake Mr. Trump. I don't see how people can afford anything. Really, I don't. What was Marguerite's husband's name? His name was Edwin Ekdahl, and that's spelled Ekdhahl, I think. Ekdahl. Ekdahl. Edwin Okdahl. That happened in 1948. And also another part of that story, in 62, Fred Korth was the Secretary of the Navy, and when Lee Harvey was incarcerated, he had originally been given an honorable discharge. Well, when he shot the president, that all changed. They gave him a dishonorable, and so he messaged Fred Korth, and because he had that connection. And Fred Korth never responded. He told people there's no way I could help him anyway, even if I wanted to. So, what do I know about the guy that killed the CEO? I know nothing. I know what y'all know. I see it on the radio or TV or internet. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock, I'm going to have Rusty Arnold. His sister, Deborah, we had made the deal. She was going to be on. Apparently, she fell and broke a tooth and doesn't want to come on. So, this morning, I'm going to offer Rusty or her a alternate choice. Why didn't she call in? She can call in on one of my other phones, and we can have her live, along with Rusty. See if she's willing to do that. Because today is the 20th. Those 3 girls went missing from Seminary South Shopping Center on December 23rd, 1974, 50 years ago, in 3 days. And they've never been heard of again, ever. And I don't know, you can do all of the conspiracy stuff. The only piece of evidence is a letter that was received on December 24th. That's the only piece of evidence ever, anywhere. Nobody else knows anything. I've looked at all of the podcasts. I've talked to Rusty. He ought to know. His sister was one of the girls. He's lived it for the last 50 years in 3 days. So I told him we'd probably cut it from 9 to 10, but if we can get Deborah to call in, maybe we go ahead and do the 2-hour interview. And he attempted, I guess, to get Terry Mosley, because somebody sent me a deal, and Terry Mosley said, I'm done with this circus stuff, or something to that effect. In other words, he didn't want to participate in it. So I don't blame him. That's a hurtful memory for all of those family members and people in Fort Worth. It's the doggonest mystery I've ever seen. It is, I double checked yesterday, it is in the cold case files. But at some point, I was told by a detective who's retired that it was treated as a runaway. Back in the 60s, there's a lot of kids ran away. I mean, we did crazy stuff back then. Me and 2 or 3 of my friends hitchhiked from Fort Worth to New York for Woodstock. I mean, I left Fort Worth with $12 in my pockets. I went by my mother's house. They took me over there, and I said, "Hey, Mom, you got some money I can borrow?" And she said, "I've got $20 or something. I'll give you what I can give you." And where are you going? I said, "New York." I mean, no change of clothes, nothing. We actually got there. That's how crazy we were. We also, oh my gosh, all the trips to Mexico. You're about half, drank about 6 beers. Let's go to Mexico. You get about 150 miles out of town and you wake up in the car, turn around, we're going home. That was a once a month deal. So, what else do we need to talk about? How many, bikes? 1,120. We've now given 19,000. We were at 18,430. So what does that come up to? I didn't get through school. So we're at 19,550. We're at, if you average the bikes out at about $50 a bike, which is too low for now, but back in the 80s it was too high. We've given away almost $1 million worth of bikes in 38 years. This year, or next year, the 2025 drive, we will go over, 20,000 bicycles. And we'll go over $1 million. I don't know how it gets bigger every year. We had a lot of people participate. We had our 3 latest mayors, had current mayor Matty Parker, Betsy Price, and Mr. Mike Moncrief. They were all present. Brooke Rollins is our new Secretary of Agriculture in the Donald Trump administration. She was there. Charlie Guerin, a state rep. Michael Crane was there. City Council. Carlos Flores was there, and many others. And everybody did a good job. We had lots of happy kids. It was an awesome event this year. It went off without a hiccup. It always does. We opened at 6:40. By 7:30, we had to have given away 300 bikes. We had 4 lanes coming in. What do I know about who? Binion, my dad worked for him. Worked for, actually, George Wilderspin. Why don't I do Gangsters in Cowtown? We can do that. There was a lot of gangsters here, 40s, 50s. Hell, there's still a lot of gangsters here. That's Top of the Hill Casino. That lady is very well knowledgeable about the gangster era. It was originally the Top of the Hill Tea Terrace. There were two old maids two elderly ladies that wanted to open a tea room for the garden club and whatever. That was also the highest point in Fort Worth at the time. It didn't make it. Fred Browning and his wife bought it, turned it into a casino. It was the nicest casino, one of them, in the United States. That was before Vegas really got open. Vegas was open, but it was a dust bowl. Top of the Hill Casino, Fred Browning and his wife ran it. They ran through all of their money pretty quickly. But let me back it up. That house has all of these hidden tunnels and stuff. How did they make them? He had the house taken off the slab, and they made all of these tunnels that would go down the hill, so if the cops came and raided it, the gamblers could escape. And it's owned by the seminary, Southwestern Theological Seminary. They ran out of money. They went to Benny. Benny just said to himself, and H.L. Hunt, that was the money behind Benny. He said, we'll just wait them out. They'll have to close the doors because they can't pay off. Well, the outfit out of Chicago, Meyer Lansky and Luciano and that group, they loaned the money. And so at one point, Fred Browning couldn't make it anymore, so they auctioned it off, and Benny and H.L. Hunt were there, and they bought it, and Benny ran it. But it was a super nice casino. They had Arlington Downs was 1.5 miles away. That was the horse racing track that the Wagners owned. So yeah, but that lady is very knowledgeable. They give tours. She knows all the stories. Howard Hughes was out there. All of them. It was a nice casino. There wasn't a bunch of thugs running around. Anyway, I'm going to go through the sponsors one more time. Our sponsors help pay for all the stuff that goes on, as well as y'all do. Everybody's... But we need donations, and we don't ever get them. Casey Crawl Insurance Group, that's the Medicare and Medicaid people. Why did it not go to the next deal? Clay Winstead, Winstead Paint and Body. Gotta move the thing up. I'm getting the hang of it. Techstar Pools, they'll Beyond and Landscape. They will build you a pool, remodel yours, repair yours, whatever. Jerry Schwartz, Schwartz and Hanson Architects. Rex Benson's Rex's Bar and Grill. I'm just going to call Rex this weekend and find out what the latest is. Raines Plumbing, that's a family-owned plumbing business. I've had a lot of good reviews on them too. Charlie Guerin's Railhead Barbecue, we often eat there. Charlie's on the board of Larry's Kids. Passport Getaways is our vacation people. You want to take a cruise or a trip or go to Europe or whatever, call them. The Optimist Club of Fort Worth. Old South Pancake House, another Rex Benson owned company. There's one on University that's 24/7. There's one in Burleson. They close at 9 or 10 o'clock. K Ranch Roofing is one of our roofing sponsors. If you think you've got a leak or you've got issues, call them. They'll come out and give you a free estimate. Jenny Stewart, she is our State Farm insurance lady. Like I say, when your insurance comes due, and man, I tell you, this insurance is through the roof. Call Jenny and see what they can do for you. David and Sherry Hart are very active in the community in Tarrant and Parker County. Cross Electric, Brandon Cross, they are our electricians. I've had a lot of good reviews on them. Fort Worth Lumber Company. If you planning on building anything or you need plans or whatever to do with building, call Fort Worth Lumber. Eric is the operating partner at Express Dent. Dick Regester started it, but Dick lives in Florida now, where the sun shines. Dickie Carr Sand and Gravel. Pat and Richard Carr are huge, civically minded people. They do a lot of stuff with the church, real active in all of our events. Sponsor on our group. He was the first person to write a $5,000 check for Larry's kids. There's Richard's nephew, Dickie Carr, Carr. He is our tree sponsor. They do anything with trees. Grateful for your trees. Steve Coburn, Coburn's Catering. They've been around, I don't know how many years. I used to run around with Gary Coburn, Otha's son. Burt Ladner Real Estate. Wes Williams is associated with that group. Wes is setting them on fire too. Gosh, he sold 3 or 4 houses, but they're all $1 million a piece, I think. Eric Walsh is also a sponsor on our group, Real Estate, and he is on Larry's Kids board. There's Dub Peacock's company, A Bird AC and Heating Incorporated. So get your unit checked. It might just need more Freon or whatever they do to them. Of course, we're having our annual gift certificate sale, $150. That's half price on the big stuff. You can call and do it over the phone, or you can come by. We're eating at Grump's. If you need a website built or you've got technical problems, Scott Sumner is the IT guru. He's the guy that keeps all this stuff going. I don't know how in the hell he does it. All I know is I call him and it's fixed. I have no clue. Don't even try to start messing with it, because if you do, you'll lock the computer up. You know, I finally found out that one time that I was locked out and I panicked. I'm the one that caused it. Scott didn't get a chance to get over to look at it, but I stopped at Best Buy and a 25-year-old female said, "Well, Larry, if you stay inside the store here, I got to charge you X number of dollars. If you walk outside in the parking lot, I'm fixing to have a break." Fixed it in 5 minutes. Unbelievable. These kids, if you get a new TV and you don't know how to set it up, get your 10-year-old grandson. He can fix it. Okay, Scott, you got anything?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, so we need to do guess the score. Who we're playing? Tampa Bay,
Yeah.
and they got a better record than we do, don't they? Is that what you said yesterday?
They're 8-6.
And we're 6-8. Well, Jerry, of course, it's Jerry's zoo over there. I don't know what's going to happen if Jerry ever passes on. It might be a real football team, and that's the most expensive sports franchise in the world. He paid $140 million for the team in '89, and this year he gave Dak Prescott $160 million for 4 years. So he paid Prescott $20 million more than he paid for the entire team. What is wrong with that picture? But they still fill the stadium. He won't feel it until all of y'all quit going. I guarantee you, I don't see how you can go. I mean, the prices of stuff. I saw last night on the live feed, the rodeo out at Northside Coliseum is $130. That's the cheapest ticket. I mean, are you kidding me? $130? Hell, you can get into the stock show rodeo cheaper than that, can't you? I mean, just like I said, this new barbecue place, $30 for a pound of ribs. Somebody's got to do something. This stuff is out of sight. So we're eating at Grumps, and all of us seniors can eat off the child's menu. And I know that they're interested, because when I started announcing, one of the people that wanted to join was is the manager of Grumps. I forget their name, but I'm sure we'll meet him or her on Saturday. 1 o'clock, River Oaks Boulevard and Roberts Cutoff. Use our sponsors. Buy a detailed gift certificate. I'm going to post a prayer request. We need a prayer for basically everybody on the planet, the good guys, the bad guys.